Thanks for tuning into this channel, but 80% of you are still unsubscribed. If you could just hit that button, it allows us to bring you loads more content and you'll be doing us a massive favour. Top 3 sessions for the time crunched athletes. I'm now one of those time crunched athletes. I've kind of always have been, I guess. You know, I've never had like loads of hours to like kind of train.
Strong like a tree, there's roots where I stand. Oh, I've been running from the law. Hope they won't shoot me down soon.
I think generally, like, what would you call like time crunched athlete? Like generally I would say it's like up to 8 hours a week really. I think the majority of people have probably got like 6 hours to train, you know, especially if you've got like a family, you've got work commitments. I think these 3 workouts that I find that are really well. Obviously there's loads of things in the press now, what's the best way of training. I found the best ways of training that I found work for myself and the athletes that I've worked with is number 1 is like a swear word now, is the sweet spot. Basically sweet spot training is generally you'd probably do like 2x15, 2x20. You can almost like do an hour at sweet spot ultimately. And the idea behind that is that you work at 87 to 93% of your FDP and you generally like riding like that zone. And the idea behind like that is you just get a great stimulus and it's good enough that you can recover and then you can do a workout like the following day. Like when I was at the peak of what I was doing, like the majority of training that I did was actually in that sweet spot zone. But ultimately what it means is if I look at like the training stress that I'm gonna get for that workout, I can probably hit between like 65 to 70 points within like an hour's workout, where if I do like a zone 2 ride, I'm gonna get 45 points. So it's just not a massive stimulus if you're just doing like zone 2, and I think for a lot of people, they just, you know, they struggle with that amount of time. We all know that you need to put some recovery in, but that's a great session to kind of maximize like your time. Another great session is doing like under rovers or like what we call like a 30-30 interval or a 20-40 interval. And the idea behind those are that you do like a 10-minute block, you'd warm up for like 10 minutes, then you do 30 seconds around like 120 to 140% of your FTP, and then you would recover for 30 seconds and then go again. Ideally, if say like you're trying to do this on like a time trial bike, you'd want to do it in like the position, or if you're even on like being on like a road bike, again you'd want to do it in your most aggressive position really on like the bike. Like generally speaking, I would try and do at least 2 of those within like the workouts. So it's kind of like a 1-to-1 ratio in terms of like 10 minutes warm up, 10 minutes on, 10 minutes recovery, and then 10 minutes of another duration of like that interval, and then obviously you do like you cool down. The final effort that I find like works really well is just doing what we call like a zone 5 effort. And again, like today I went out and I did 4x4 minutes with 1-to-1 ratio in terms of recovery. I generally do those efforts between like 105 to 110% of like my FTP. I do those in the position that I was going to ride in. And again, you know, like I did that session today, I hit 75 points in terms of like the strain and stimulus that I was gonna get. I think like generally speaking, if you are like time crunched, like doing 3 of those, you know, like training sessions each week, you're gonna get a lot of bang for buck in terms of like the training. If you were to do like a 6-week course of doing like that, you know, those 3 key sessions, I wouldn't do them like back to back. You'd probably want like an easier day in between like each set, and probably add like another sweet spot session in those workouts. But you're probably going to find like if you did that for 6 weeks, you know, like ultimately you're going to get like a good performance in terms of like gain. So if you're at that point in the season where you're struggling for, you know, like you've stagnated, then try those sessions and let us know how you get on.